definitely the month of June is filled with a lot of opportunities. So let's be best positioned to make the most of it. All right, 10 seconds, and then we are soaring. Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one, go. Hi, hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, anywhere you're connecting, you're connecting with us from in the world. You are welcome to the Q, the Customer Experience Conversations, brought to you by my humble self, Dipo Oyewole. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the conversation today. If it's your first time, you're welcome. If you've been here before, you are also welcome. So today we're looking at the confidence in convenience. And maybe for those that are just connecting, I'd like to give a little background into what the Q is about. So the Q is the customer experience conversations. This is where we have conversations around the customer experience from both sides of the aisle. We have different perspectives: the perspective of the customer, the perspective of the business operator, or the perspective of the business. Okay, so it's an objective platform where the sole aim is to help deliver relevant information that helps make the customer experience journey to be as seamless and to be as comfortable as possible. Okay, because in recent time, I'm sure every single person here can attest to the fact that you've engaged one business or the other where you've not had so pleasant experiences in terms of the customer experience that you had with them when you engaged with them either virtually or either physically. Okay, and here on the Q, it's not supposed to be a monologue, it's supposed to be a dialogue. So at any point during the program, you can always request to join in. Look at the buttons at the bottom of your screen. You can request to be a part of the conversation so we can have an actual dialogue for a couple of minutes while we are on this particular conversation. Okay, so again, it's not supposed to be a monologue, it's supposed to be a dialogue where we have conversations. It's an open mic Thursday. So, yes, we have the conversations and then we have fun. Hopefully, we learn something and we're better off for it. All right. So very quickly move into today's topic for today's episode, confidence and convenience. And I'd like to give a quick background into why we're talking about convenience today. So in the last couple of weeks, for those that are just connecting with us, in the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about some pillars of customer experience. So we looked at personalization, we looked at competence, where we talked about convenience, and we talked about being proactive. Okay, so initially we started off with 4 pillars that form part of the critical structure when we're talking about the customer experience. So in the last couple of weeks, like I said, we've been talking about them. We've talked about personalization, we talked about competence. Last week we talked about competence. Today we're talking about convenience, and maybe next week or the week after, we'll be looking at being proactive. So yes, looking at the key pillars that form what it means to have proper customer experience engagements when we're engaging with businesses or when our businesses are engaging or engaged by customers. Okay, so that's why today we're looking at convenience. And that's why the topic is confidence in convenience. So quick definition, because I think that's a very good place to start. Let's look at the definition of convenience, since that's what we're talking about. So convenience, the state of being able to proceed with something without difficulty. Very simple, right? So convenience is the state of being able to proceed with something without difficulty. And while you're on, you want to share this particular live with anyone on your contact or in your list, anyone you know, share it with them. Tell the friend to tell a friend to connect with the Q. We are starting now. It's supposed to be for an hour. Started by 7 o'clock Lagos time and London time. It's supposed to be for an hour. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Share with the folks that you know that the queue is live now and we have started. Okay? So yeah, back to the definition of what we're talking about today. Confidence in convenience. And we started off with the definition of convenience. And we said convenience, the state of being able to proceed with something without difficulty. Very, very simple definition. Now, note that it says without difficulty. It didn't say with little difficulty or without little difficulty. It says without difficulty, unequivocally, without difficulty, absent of difficulty. There's no possibility of any difficulty in the mix. I'm having to emphasize this because of what we're going to talk about, what we're going to be talking about in the next couple of minutes. So it's important that we have this definition really etched in front of our minds. Okay, so I'll take it again for the final time. Convenience, the state of being able to proceed with something without difficulty. And looking at it from the perspective of what we're talking about, customer experience, I believe that, and you would also agree with me that when we're talking about convenience, it mostly talks about when we're engaging with a business or with a brand. Either we're engaging them because of their products or because of their services. How convenient is it for us to engage that business? How convenient is it for us to engage that brand? That is what we're talking about. How convenient is it? We're talking about confidence in convenience. How convenient is it to engage with a brand? You could be connected with us today and maybe you have your own brand or you work for a particular brand or organization. Ask yourself, how convenient is it to engage with that brand that you either own or you represent or that you are a part of? Because these are key indicators that ensure that people have solid customer experiences when they engage with your brand. So it is important that at the heart of everything we're doing with regards to customer experience, convenience is also at the very center of it. Because either we like it or not, it does have to be part of our business processes. And in the last couple of weeks, for those that haven't been connecting with us for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about making sure that the customer experience is an integral part of your business process. So it's not just one of those things that you say that, okay, you know what, we believe that this is just supposed to be maybe a unit or a department in the organization. That's not what customer experience is. And on this platform, we talk about customer experience and not customer service. Okay, which is what we're very used to hearing when we're talking about anything that has to do with customers in organizations, in businesses, with big brands. We get to hear of customer service, and we hear of customer service departments, or customer service units, customer service officers, or customer service operators. On this platform, we don't use the word customer service because at the very heart of customer service, the service provider is at the center of it, not the customer. Because if you check it with their trainings and with everything that they have to do with engaging customers, you'd agree with me that it is always about what the service provider should be doing, even though that is very valid. But what should be at the heart of it should be what the expectations of the customers are, not what you believe you should do for them, but what they expect you to do for them. What are the expectations of the customers? What are the expectations of your clients? That is what should inform how you engage with them. So that's why we're talking about the customer experience, because it is deeply rooted in the customer's expectations. Because in the very end, the experience of your customer, either it's positive or negative, while engaging your business, that will determine if they get to interact with your business again, or if they even get to refer your business to another potential customer. That is what forms the basis of that. It is the customer experience, not necessarily the service you are providing. Because when we're looking at it from the customer service perspective, some people only limit it to when you get to engage with those who are in the customer service department or the customer service unit, not understanding the fact that the customer experience cascades more than just engaging with a particular unit or a particular department in an organization. It is all encompassing with how they engage with your business with various and different touch points that your organization has. So you find that even people who aren't in the customer service department or customer experience department, they are the ones that make the most impressions on customers. And I'm sure everybody connected here today can even attest to that fact. Because for various brands, I'm sure your customers, you have You have businesses that you engage with. Some of them could be restaurants, some of them could be banks, some of them could be all sorts of businesses. With every form of business that you engage with, you are a customer, and you attest to the fact that it is not all the time that it is those who have uh, the dedicated work to engage you. They're not necessarily the ones that make the lasting impressions with you. They're not. So that is something that should be instructive for a lot of businesses and business operators when we're talking about customer experience as opposed to customer service. Okay, so I thought to lay that quick background as we move on with the conversation. So we are on the same page with those who are just connecting with us for the very first time. So yes, for those that are connecting with us, you're welcome to the Q Customer Experience Conversations. You are very welcome talking about confidence in convenience. And we started off with the definition of convenience, which is the state of being able to proceed with something without difficulty. Plain and simple. Okay, customers want to be able to get in touch with customer experience operators, or they're engaging with a business through whichever channel that is most convenient for them, which is what I was trying to talk about before. Because what you find with some businesses is they provide channels, or they pay attention to channels that they believe are most convenient for them, not necessarily the ones that are most convenient for the customers, which is not how it should be. The customers should be at the very heart of whatever business process you are putting in place. That's just the logical thing to do. So ask yourself, you have customers, you have people that engage your business or engage your brand. Either it is yours or you're just an operator within a particular system. So ask yourself, what is the most convenient way that our customers reach us the most? What platforms? Have you been able to narrow it down to a couple? Have you been able to prioritize them to say that, okay, you know what, I believe that our customers reach us a lot more, maybe via the DMs or via phone calls or via emails or via WhatsApp or whatever platform that we have available to them? Have we been able to adequately prioritize and itemize the platforms that our customers engage us on? As opposed to just saying that, okay, you know what, these are the platforms that we believe that they should engage us on. But the question is, which platforms are the most convenient for your customers to engage you on? Either to patronize you, or either to give you feedback, or to make inquiries. Basically, whatever form of engagement a customer needs to have with you, you should be able to ask yourself, which platforms are the most convenient for our customers? And those are the things that should form the basis of the platforms that you engage your customers on, not the ones that you believe that you want to engage them on. Okay? So it is important that when we identify those channels or those platforms, that we're able to offer support through those channels or through those platforms where we're communicating with our customers, because those are the channels that they rely on the most. Sometimes those channels are the only ways that they can reach us. Sometimes they're the only ways that they can connect with us. So it is important that we are able to prioritize those channels, and we are able to identify them once we do that. And we provide support through those channels. Because those channels aren't just for answering inquiries or answering questions or addressing challenges. They should be holistic with how we approach our engagement with our customers. It is very important. Or else, what's the basis of having those channels or those platforms in the first place? Okay? So, customer convenience in any element of customer experience is what saves the customer time and effort. So now we're bringing the conversation or the entire definition of convenience into what we're talking about when we're talking about customer experience. That it is what saves the customer time and effort. Very simply put, convenience, because that's what we're talking about today. Confidence in convenience. Convenience, when we're talking about it in the context of customer experience, it's what saves the customer time and effort. Today, we're in an age where everything moves literally at the speed of light. We all have different things that are calling for our attention, left and right, in the immediate, in the future. people do not have too much time to spend engaging a brand. So the question is this: when they're engaging your brand, how qualitative is that engagement? What's the quality of that engagement? Do they get to spend hours engaging with you before they get what they need from your brand? Also understanding the fact that except you're into some very novel industry, there's no reason why any customer would really be doing that. There's no reason, because once they see that you're wasting their time and then you don't have any serious regard for their time, they move on to the next business, they move on to the next brand. So it is important that we understand that fact and that reality. We're talking about convenience and having the entire customer experience embedded in our processes. So we can't just say that you want to embed convenience alone into your business processes or into how your brand operates. Or you can't say that it's just going to be personalization or it's just going to be competence. So now you get to understand why in the last couple of weeks we've been talking about having the entire customer experience engagement, have it embedded in the fabric of your organization. Because once you do that, all these other elements are the pillars that it stands on. And these are the things that drive your sales. These are the things that make marketing easy. These are the things that make engaging customers easy. Okay? So yes, convenience in the context of customer experience is what saves the customer time and effort. It's very simple. It's what saves your customer time and effort. Convenience. And that is one thing that we should focus on as brands, as businesses. Having our customers engage us. And the engagement is convenient for them. The engagement is seamless for them. There's no reason why a customer should not have a convenient engagement with you or with your brand. There's literally no reason. And if those reasons exist, identify them and see how you can address them one after the other. It is very important, because like we have established in the last couple of weeks, your customers do not owe you understanding. They really don't. It's not their problem. It's not their business if you're having certain challenges with your processes or with your business or within your systems. That's not the concern of any customer or any client. Your customers do not owe you understanding. I'll say that again. Your customers do not owe you any understanding. So if there are processes or issues within your organization that you need to address them. If it is issues around convenience with how your customers engage you, address those issues, because they do not owe you understanding. Address those issues and make engagements with your brand seamless. Welcome feedback from customers. We've said this every other week. Welcome feedback. Have feedback receiving platforms where you can receive feedback from customers, whether it's positive or negative. Because that's also another way you can get to know if, when they engage your brand, if it is convenient for them or not. Those are the channels of the platforms that you'll be able to know how well you are doing, how customers are literally experiencing your brand or your business, not how you perceive them to be experiencing them. Because either way you like it, you would always look at it from the buyer's position. And you can never see the entire picture. So that's why it's important that you have feedback mechanisms in place where your customers can always engage with you and let you know if engaging with your brand is seamless, if it is convenient for them, or if it isn't convenient. And we have said this every other week. Where feedback is not necessarily positive, where it is negative, take it objectively and see how you can fix up. Not every negative feedback you get comes from a place of animosity or comes from a place of outright negativity. Sometimes you get negative feedback and that is just what they are. Feedback. Now it's up to you to know what you're going to do with that feedback and adjust. Do the necessary adjustments, put them in place to ensure that when customers engage your business, they engage your business conveniently. There is no reason why a customer should engage your business and then they're having to go through all forms of or any form of inconvenience. There's literally no reason for it. Excuse me. There's literally no reason for it. In this day and age, everyone wants what is easy, what is fast, what is smooth, what will save them time and effort. That is what convenience is when we're talking about convenience in the context of customer experience. Okay? So it's very important that we understand these factors and we understand these facts very, very well. Customers are often strongly motivated to save time and effort. And as such, business models need to be centered around providing convenience with regards to having that particular point in mind. Because customers are looking for places, businesses, and brands where they can get value for money at the same time saving time and effort. These things need to be integrated into the fabric of your businesses. We'll keep saying this every week. We'll keep emphasizing it. It is very important. It is very important. Okay? So very quickly, for the sake of time, we will go into types of customer convenience when we're talking about engaging brands or we're talking about convenience in terms of customer experience. Okay? And like I said before, it's not supposed to be a monologue on the queue. It's supposed to be a dialogue. So you're free to connect with us. Look at the buttons at the bottom of your screen. Request to be part of the conversation, and then we can have a dialogue. We can have a conversation so that it can be a richer engagement, and we can always have your own perspective to the entire conversation. Okay. For those that are just connecting with us, we're talking about the confidence in convenience. Still a continuation of the pillars of customer experience that we've been talking about in the last couple of weeks, where we talked about personalization, we talked about competence. Today we're talking about convenience. Talking about convenience and the confidence in convenience. And we took a very short definition of convenience at the beginning, where we said convenience is the state of being able to proceed with something without difficulty. That is what convenience is about. And we've also been able to establish that convenience in terms of customer experience conversation or customer experience engagement is where the customer gets to save time and effort. So these are critical factors that businesses need to pay attention to, that they need to know, that they need to look at when they are developing their business processes. That what are those things that we can put in place? What are those things that we can look at? What are those things that we can do to ensure that our customers are saving time and they're saving effort? Ask yourself, what's the turnaround time for every process that you have in your business that your customers literally get to engage with, either at the back end or at the front end? What are those processes? How can you streamline them better? How can you make them more efficient? Because that is what we have at the heart of convenience. When systems are efficient, when things are seamless, that is what convenience is about. And that's how we can get to have our customers save time and effort. Okay, so very quickly we'll move into types of customer convenience. And we're starting with a very familiar point that we've had on here on the queue in the last couple of weeks. And that first point is personalization. And of course, if you've been part of the queue in the last couple of weeks, this is not going to be the first time you'll be hearing it on the queue, talking about personalization. So we won't be dwelling too much on personalization while we're having this conversation today. So yes, personalization. Remembering the customer's preferences. That's really what personalization is. And remember that we gave various examples and various models. When we're talking about personalization, I think that should be 3 weeks ago. We're talking about personalization, different examples and different models. For example, you ask a hotel for firm pillows, your first time visiting that hotel, and the next time you go there, they remember that you like firm pillows, without you even having to remind them that you prefer firm pillows or you prefer a firm mattress. That is personalization. It's something as simple as that. Personalization. Okay? And remember that we talked about personalization from the place of being an experience and from the place of it being part of your business processes, it is coming back again, talking about convenience. For the mere fact that your customer doesn't have to remember every single time they engage with your brand or with your business what they want or what they usually like to get from your brand in case you offer varying services. That in itself is convenience for them. It's convenience that they don't have to always have to worry or have to remember what it is that they want to get from you. They put a call through to you. You already know what it is that they want. You already know what it is that they like. Part of the joys of personalization. When we're talking about convenience and how it affects the customer experience conversation as a whole. So yes, personalization, types of customer convenience. The second one is also something we heard about when we were talking about personalization a couple of weeks back, and that is customization. Okay, an easy way to customize things, such as an air conditioner with clear and powerful menus that give users control over the unit. Very convenient. An example: you have an AC unit in your home, and for you to operate it, it's not something that you need to have maybe a science degree or anything that serious for you to be able to operate it. I mean, you turn it off, you turn it back on, it's on the same setting you left it, your preferred setting. That's convenience. It doesn't always necessarily have to revert back to a particular setting that you don't like or that you don't prefer. We have some of these little features in all these our mobile devices. For a lot of them, you have cameras. There are ways you can save a camera that it saves in the previous setting that you use, or maybe your preferred setting. So it's not every time you want to use your camera or you turn your camera on to use it that you then have to start adjusting it for the setting, or maybe you want to take a quick selfie, or want to take a quick picture. No. So these little settings are there. These little customizations, they are there for the sake of convenience. That's why they're there. For the sake of convenience. And either we like it or not, that's the reason why we keep using most of these devices, most of these tools. That's why even some of us even still patronize most of these businesses that we do. Most of the brands that we patronize today consistently is because of convenience. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that maybe they're the closest places to you and you don't have closer options or closer alternatives. But when you do engage with that brand or with that business, it is convenient for you to do so. At the time you're engaging with them, they make it convenient. That is part of the reasons why you keep engaging those brands. So look back, cast your mind back and think, okay, this particular brand that I like to engage for this particular reason, for this particular product, or this particular service, or this particular vendor, why do I keep going back to them? Is it because it's convenient? Is it because they remember what I like to get from them the way I like it? Is it because they show that they care? Is it because they show that they pay attention with personalization and customization? So these are the little things that make engaging with brands convenient for us. Very, very little things. Very little things. And like the way it's said, it's the little things that count. The little things, they are the ones that count. Sometimes the big things, the big gestures, the big processes, the big billboards, the big signboards, the big logos, they aren't really the things that the customers get to engage with in the end. They aren't. Part of those things is what we're talking about today, convenience. And these are things that we really need to pay attention to in our brands and in our businesses. Okay? So another point when we're looking at types of customer convenience is location. So we heard the phrase location, location, location. Location is very, very important. Today we have ATMs all over, different parts of the world, different cities, different states, because you don't necessarily have to go into a banking hall to withdraw money. That's why you have the automated teller machines placed all around. That is a tool of convenience. As simple as that. Okay? For all the faults or the many faults that maybe different banks or brands or financial systems may have, I believe that the ATM is one thing that they've been able to get right, and they've been able to help make customers access their services conveniently. Because for a lot of people, they may have to go a further distance to maybe have to withdraw cash from a banking hall when they have ATMs that are closer to them. Can always get that done, and then they go about their day. That is one clear example of what convenience is and what convenience can do. And I'm sure for a lot of us, you can also attest to this, that for some reason, maybe there's a certain bank, okay, that has their ATM very close to maybe where you work or where you live, but you do not have an account with that particular bank. And then for that particular reason, you go open an account with that bank. Yes or no? I'm sure some of us know that. Some of us have done that in the past, and some of us know people who have done that in the past. So that's part of what we're talking about. So it's not just about convenience as a tool for customer experience, but it's also a way to bridge the gap when you're trying to engage customers as a brand, as a business. If not for that ATM, some people will not have certain accounts in certain banks, and that is a fact. Just for the mere fact that they have an ATM machine or an ATM, that they have an ATM very close to where they live or where they work or where they always have easy access to, they've been able to say that, you know what, I think it makes a lot of sense if I get to open an account with this bank that owns this ATM. That is one business you had to get without having to go out for marketing, without having to do a lot of advertisements or do a lot of promotions and all of that, merchandising. Just because you were able to place an ATM in a strategic location. That is one clear example that I'm sure everyone can relate to. Okay? So convenience, convenience, convenience. We just talked about location and the role location plays with convenience when we're talking about it with the customer experience conversation. All right? So the next point that we're looking at is portability. Items that are easy to carry around. For example, your mobile phone. Because that was primarily the challenge or the issue that the mobile phone came to address. Portability. Simple. The mobile phones, mobile devices came from the cellulars and all of that one till it's now to what we have right now, smartphones and all of that. That was the primary and the only thing it came to solve. Portability. It didn't come to solve maybe easy connectivity. No, that wasn't it. You may think that's part of what it came to solve, but that's not the primary thing it came to solve. Because people were communicating just fine with landlines. Did it have as much reach? No, it didn't. But I'm sure that if technology didn't improve to what we have it today, we would have had more telephone lines all around the world. So no, it really didn't come to get to connect us. It came to address this issue of portability. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about convenience. Convenience. Items that are easy to carry around. So ask yourself this. You have a brand. You sell different products. Depending on the size of your products, what is your packaging like? Now, packaging is even another point that we have to look at down the line. But I believe it's also a valid point that we also need to look at when we're talking about portability. Because sometimes we have products that are not necessarily portable in their own sense, but the packaging makes the difference. Maybe where you get to convey it from where you got it from to your home or to your office, or even getting it conveyed to your home or to your office via a delivery system or whatever way. So portability is something that we need to look at in terms of how we deliver value when we engage with customers in our businesses and in our brands, especially where we have items that can easily be carried around. Because these are questions that we can always get to ask ourselves. How can this be more convenient for my customer? How can this be more convenient for my brand? That's why cell phone companies, the Apples and Samsungs of this world, that's why they spend tens of billions of dollars on R&D. Because every single time they want to make their phones lighter and easy to carry, easy to use, make the interface a lot smoother, a lot faster, make the processor a lot faster. All geared towards convenience. That's why they spend that much money. Not just because they don't have things to spend money on. All aimed at convenience. Okay? So the next one we're looking at is time saving. What process do you have in your business, in your brand, in your organization that saves time for customers when they engage with you? Are you deliberate about saving time for your customers when they engage with your brand? The brands that you engage with, look back. Can you make up a list? Can you categorically say that the way they engage you, they're deliberate about saving your time? Because I'm sure that a lot of us have engaged brands even today that it's obvious that they have zero regard for your time. And I think that that is very appalling and quite irresponsible. Because in the end, you need to have respect for the time of people at every level, no matter how you are engaging them in whatever way, shape, or form. You need to respect time. You can't have a brand or a business where they have no regard or little regard for the time of customers. You'll be lucky if those customers come back to you to engage you again or to even bother to refer anyone to you. I know I won't. So time saving. We must look at saving time for our customers because that is really what is at the heart of convenience. Saving time and effort for our customers. That's at the heart of it. So customer experiences that save time as compared to traditional alternatives. So for example, you have certain brands that they have pre-cooked meals where maybe you just need to throw it in the microwave for a couple of minutes and then it's ready to eat. Several examples like that. That saves time. So you don't have to start cooking that particular item from scratch. You don't. You don't. That's a very good example. That's a very good example. So it must save time, it must save effort, it must save energy. We're talking about convenience with regards to the customer experience. It is very important that those two boxes, they must be checked. You must save time, you must save effort. You must. You must. It's really compulsory. Now, usability. That's the next point. Usability. How easy is it to engage with your business or to use your product or to engage your service? Usability. How easy is it? How easy? Things that are easy to use, such as an e-commerce website or e-commerce site that with one-click ordering, you've ordered what you want. And more importantly, a delivery service that works. Because I believe that these are two sides of the same coin, where we have one of them almost always failing. And I'm trying to still understand why, for a lot of businesses, they don't have this all figured out yet. Especially businesses that you need to engage virtually, either on e-commerce sites or on Instagram, on Facebook, on all these different social media platforms. For the ones that even get it right on those platforms, the delivery is typically a challenge in most cases. Not in all cases, but in most cases, it's a challenge. And for a lot of businesses or a lot of brands, they don't understand that the delivery bit of it is also part of the customer experience. So you can't just say that, okay, you know what, oh, I'm outsourcing the delivery bit to another organization or to another business, and then they fumble the whole thing, and then you say, oh, sorry, it's not our business. It's not, we will just pay them, we just give them the product, we just give them your item, and what they do with this is, that's not good enough because it is still part of the customer experience. And it's very unfortunate that a lot of businesses have failed in this particular area. In this particular area. In weeks to come, we're going to be addressing businesses that are into the whole delivery space, the logistics space. In weeks to come, we will definitely be addressing them. Not now, but in weeks to come. So it is important that we identify that it isn't just about engaging customers through our own site, but in whatever process they have to go through, or that the product or service has to go through till it gets to the customer. It forms part of the customer experience. It is part and parcel of the customer experience. It is part of it. So good. You have your own business, either it's on an e-commerce site or on social media platform. A customer engages you, you respond on time, you close the business, payment is made, all the details are gotten, all of that happens, and it's all good. But the last bit of it, the delivery bit of it, are you able to get it right? It is something that you have seamlessly logged down. And in cases where there's a breakdown in that system, how are you able to communicate effectively with your customer? Do you just leave them hanging, or you tell them, okay, you know what, this is the number of the delivery person bringing the package for you, connect with them, which is what a lot of businesses do, or a lot of vendors, that's what they do. It's not good enough. It's really not good enough, because like I said, it is still part of the customer experience. So moving on to the next point, I already touched on it earlier, talking about packaging. Okay, so you have items or products where their packaging is easy to open, reseal, and reuse. Okay, that is part of convenience. You have packaging easy to open, easy to reseal. Not there's certain packages that not even for safety reasons. Some of them you need to get a knife, some of them you need to get a scissors, and some of them I'm wondering what's really going on here. Does it really need to be this tough? But you have a lot of items or some items where they don't necessarily need to be that tightly sealed or concealed in that manner. So you have packages where it is easy to open, possibly even reseal and then reuse. Okay, not items like I'll say this on a lighter note. I believe maybe some of us, not all of us, maybe some of us know the Matryoshka dolls. Okay, I'm sure we've seen them in movies. So I'll describe it to you, and I'm sure you'll remember seeing them in movies. They're Russian dolls, okay? I think they're made of plastic. You see a very big one with maybe a face and entire body drawn on it, and then you unscrew it or you open the top, and then there's another doll in it. You bring it out, you open that one, there's another one in it. You open it, there's another one in it, and then on and on and on and on. So you see one that's very little. Sometimes you could have like 11 pieces in it. Okay, so that's the direct opposite of what we're talking about right now. We're talking about packaging and convenience. God help you. You propose to anyone with that kind of item. They're called nesting dolls, okay, or stacking dolls. God help you. You have any serious surprise, and then you have it in the little one or the very last one. Whatever outcome you get, that's up to you. But that's really on the lighter note. So yes, to the next point, which is something we also talked about earlier, is delivery. Delivering items to customers' agreed location. How smooth are you getting that done? How easy are you getting it done? Talking about delivery. Like I said, it is very important. This particular point about delivery we really do need to have this conversation about logistics organizations, because to be fair to some vendors, some vendors, to be fair to them, where you have a breakdown in service delivery, sometimes it's because these logistics organizations or these delivery platforms end up fumbling their own end of the transaction. To be fair, in some cases, not enough, to be fair, okay, in some cases. But it is something that I believe that needs to be addressed as a conversation that needs to be had. I'm going to have it right on here on the queue, the customer experience conversations. Okay. So the next one we're looking at is scheduling as we start to coast home. Scheduling. Doing things at a time that is convenient for the customer. I will say that again. Doing things at a time that is convenient for the customer, not the time that is convenient for you. Okay? Doing things at the time that is convenient for the customer, not the time that is convenient for you. You are not the priority. The customer is the priority. So when we're talking about scheduling in the context of customer experience, excuse me, scheduling is doing things at a time that is convenient for the customer. Of course, if you have opening hours, it does need to fall within those hours. Okay? But you must make sure that if it is within those hours, you must do it at the time that is convenient for the customer. A very good example, which I'm sure everyone here can relate with. Home repair contractors or artisans, or as we call them, the plumbers, the electricians, the carpenters. I'm going to come around Saturday, 10 a.m. You'd be lucky if they come by 12 noon. Some of them end up wasting the entire day for you. Unfortunately, some of us run our businesses in that manner. And we still talked about saving time and timing, respecting the time of customers, respecting the time of clients. That is one of the most disrespectful things that I believe that people do in business today. Having no regard for the time of customers or for the time of anyone. It is very disrespectful. Very, very disrespectful. Agree on a time, keep to that time. Let everyone move on with their business. Let everyone move on with the rest of their day. That's how it is. Okay? So the next point is automation. A machine or information technology that does work for the customer. For example, you have washing machines, you have dishwashers. They save the customer time and effort. That is why they are convenient. Do you get it now? That is why they are convenient. That is why, in most cases, they are a necessity. You have your washing machines, you have your dishwashers, you load them up, you run them. You don't have to stay with them there to ensure that they're working. As long as they're connected to power and then you press the right buttons, you let them run. You go do other things with your time. Saves you time, saves you effort. Okay? I'm sure these are examples that every one of us can connect with, that we can identify with. Okay? Defaults. Certain reasonable defaults for configuration options. Yeah, I've talked about the air conditioners before. And I'll move on to the next point because of time. Management. You need to manage processes for the customer. So for example, maybe you run a travel agency. Okay. For example, now you run a travel agency and then you have customers come to you to come book tickets and all of that. Is it possible that you can also go a step further to help them maybe plan the entire vacation? Okay. Give them a vacation package. Includes transportation, accommodation, meals, activities, entertainment. Help them with a schedule. Even if it's a location that they've been before, can you suggest a schedule to them? That's management. That's part of customer service. That is the convenience bit of it. That is what we are talking about. Okay? So self-service and personal attention. That's the last point we'll be looking at. Self-service and personal attention. Some customers will find self-service tools to be convenient, okay? And some others, personalized attention is what they prefer. Now, for some customers, they are very hands-on people. I'm a very hands-on person, okay? Some customers are very hands-on. They prefer to do the thing themselves. You give them, they get a new device from you, or they get a product or anything. They want to set it up themselves. They want to download the app. They want to do it themselves. Some customers could not be bothered. They would rather not do it. So how about you identify which customer is which by asking questions politely and knowing how to engage them. In the case where you're engaging a customer that they like self-service, after your conversation with them, you let them be. But you also let them know that you're also available in case they run into any challenge or any trouble while they're trying to maybe set up the entire system or set up the app or set up the device or anything that they've gotten from you or from your brand. And in the case where you have a customer that they prefer personal attention, well, you know you have to do everything. And after doing all of that, you also have to take time to explain to the customer on how to engage that particular product, item, device, or service. So these are very important points that we need to look at. Very important points. Very important points. So in the last couple of minutes, we'll be talking about confidence in convenience and bringing it from the conversation that we're having in the last couple of weeks about the pillars of customer experience, which are personalization, competence, convenience, and being proactive. We talked about personalization in the last couple of weeks. We talked about competence. We finished with that last week. Today we're talking about convenience. And we just finished talking about confidence in convenience. And a quick definition, taking it back to the definition of convenience that we talked about at the very beginning. Convenience is the state of being able to proceed with something without difficulty. I'll take it again for the last time. Convenience is a state of being able to proceed with something without convenience. Without difficulty. Convenience is a state of being able to proceed with something without difficulty. That is what convenience is about. And that is an integral element that we need to infuse into our businesses, into our brands, into our engagements with our customers, with our clients, and with every single person that engages our business. Because how convenience is measured in terms of customer experience is when it saves the customer time and effort. That is how we measure convenience in terms of the entire customer experience conversation. Okay? So believe and we hope the last couple of minutes that you've joined us, they've been very productive. And as always, on the final note, remember, no matter which side of the aisle you are, you need to stay agile. Okay? As a customer, keep your expectations reasonable. Get value for your money. You're paying for a service, you're paying for a product. Make sure you get value for your money. It's very important. Like we pointed out last week, in the case where you let brands and businesses get away with bad behavior and poor customer experience, and other customers do that as well, you get to set the bar very low. And then a time will come where you can engage that business again, and then you find that the bar is even lower than you left it, and then you get to complain. Once you see that there's a challenge, let them know. Let them have your feedback. Okay? Get value for your money. As a business, it's important that we strive to meet the expectations of those customers. They're paying for value. We need to give them that value. And when they give us feedback, we need to listen, pay attention, see how we can fix up. So we come into the market and we come correct, like they say these days. Okay, we need to come correct to the market. It's very important. And once we're able to do this from both sides of the aisle, I believe that together we can improve what the customer experience should truly be. Okay? I believe we can improve what it should truly be and what it will truly be, what the standards will truly be in the marketplace across different sectors, across different industries. All right? So after now, you want to catch up with the queue, this particular episode or previous episodes You can catch up on our YouTube page on the Q podcast, the Q, CUE podcast on our YouTube page, and on our podcast channels on Podbean and Apple Podcasts, the Q podcasts as well. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. Remember to tell a friend to connect to the Q podcast. This happens every Thursday, 7 p.m. Lagos time, 7 p.m. London time, 2 p.m. New York time, and 10 p.m. Dubai time. It is important that we're able to share and let people know that these conversations are ongoing. Either you're a customer, either you're a business or a business operator, we need to have these conversations. We need to know these things. Okay? We can't just assume people know them. For some people, they really don't know them. Some customers don't know their rights. And some business operators don't even know certain things that they ought to do as the bare minimum when it comes to the customer experience. Okay? So till next week on the Q, the Customer Experience Conversations, I remain yours truly, your host, Dipo Oyewole. Thank you so very much for being part of the Q today. God bless you. Till next week, till next time. Stay tuned. Stay connected to this platform for more updates, more conversations on the Q. Like I said, our YouTube page, our podcast channels, to be more informed with the new things that we'll be doing on the Q, the Customer Experience Conversations. Till then, till next week, same time. Thank you. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.